what is it that you're teaching your children, stepchildren, around respect that you think will assist stop and eradicate family violence, and how can we all continue to do that to really make sure that we're not seeing any more women and children being killed? At the moment it's one a week, one woman a week, but worldwide it's one every second. So we really need to make sure that we're focusing on this as an issue. So yeah, any suggestions around how we can change things at home, how we can teach respect, or any comments in relation to that?
I think, just keep on saying, it's the example again that kids are seeing at home. What are they seeing, the interaction between you and your partner? Where can we do better with that and really be aware? They are watching everything, as we know. They're sponges. Some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth is like, where did you hear that? And it's something that you said. So I think that we have to be mindful of that, and it's for both, I would say for both of my children equally, to see the respect that not only my husband has for me, but equally the respect that I would have back for him. Like I said at the beginning, that there's no real role as such. It's mum and dad, and I find it fascinating. I travel a lot for work, and I remember mum saying to me one day, "Oh, your children are acting out because you're not home." And I said to her, but they're with one of us at any given point. It's not 1942. It's going to be okay. And I think that whilst, yes, there's certain elements that your children need from each of you, even just the respect of something like my husband not allowing me, but supporting me, I should say, to go and do that, again, comes back to hopefully one day my children will just be able to think that A, I had all the love I needed, and B, my parents went and did the things that they wanted to do to fill them up. So I think that we're constantly being observed, even when we don't realise it, and that to me is how we can actually continue to create change.
I think there's a lot to be said about bullying, particularly in the schoolyard. I remember when I first started dating my husband, and the children were really titty ones, and we went ice skating for a day, and I remember holding Kieran's hand, and he was a hopeless ice skater. He kept falling over all the time. And this group of girls who were about 10 skated past us, and they were giggling and saying horrible things, and they made him really upset, and he started crying when we were ice skating around. And so I settled him down, I called my husband over and got him to hold on to Kieran. And when they weren't looking up and chased those girls down on the ice skating. And I wasn't horrible, but I did have some words with these young ladies because their parents weren't anywhere around. And it was just inappropriate for them to pick on this little boy who still can't ice skate now. And he's built like a brick, so if you saw them, they wouldn't be teasing him too, right? But there is something to be said about bullying and nipping that in the bud at a very, very early age. And when we talk about violence, I think we have to talk about it from both the reactive and the proactive sense. And as a lawyer, I am ashamed of the orders, I might go back for a moment, the domestic violence orders. They're a piece of paper that is just literally worth nothing. So if we learn anything from the bail system where people have to sign over their house and large sums of money, and I know my views are actually quite radical in this regard, but I think that if someone's got a DVO out against them, then they should be getting a third party to be signing over their house or signing over a huge lump of money, because if they go and then do something to hurt this woman and mum and dad have to give their house over, there's some consequences there. And why can't there be tracking devices on them so that if they get within 200 metres of the woman's phone buzz and the police's phone buzz, because that man was just hiding in so it said in the paper, was hiding in the garden outside of the parents' home. Why on earth did you even get to that circumstance? But that's the reactive. But from a proactive perspective, other than bullying, our mental health system, and I'll defer to you to speak about this, our mental health system really does, I think, need some help. And earlier this week, my mother sustained a fall and we went to this brand new, beautiful hospital that is down the road from us. And it was 10 o'clock at night, and my husband and I turned up with my mum in emergency. And there were 10 people in emergency at 10 o'clock at night. And when we left at 4:30 in the morning, there were still 10 people sitting there in emergency. This was a brand new hospital. There was hardly any staff. Almost the whole hospital was in darkness. They had only a few rooms open. So there's something wrong in our medical system at the moment where there's this multi-billion-dollar hospital just down the road from me. and they can't care for people. And we were at lunch coffee, like you wouldn't believe, and I was a bit worried because this was right in the middle of my rather bad stage, and I was worried that they were going to ask me to leave or say something to me. But I said to my husband, if coronavirus does really break out, this hospital is not going to be able to do anything, and there are hundreds of thousands of people that live around here who would just all go to this one hospital. So I do think there's something in our medical system, and in particular our mental health system, that needs some serious work done. Just how are these people getting into these circumstances in the first place?
Yeah, and again, I don't think that there's enough for this. There's not enough services either. We interviewed this week a woman from a women's shelter on the podcast about domestic violence, and she was, whilst we're recording the podcast, she's screaming out to people and she's like, we don't have enough staff, there aren't enough resources, and they're turning away women who are in danger. So I think that again, it doesn't really answer the question. I think it's really important that these conversations happen because they are a real problem, and we also need to learn how do we protect ourselves, because often we're in vulnerable positions, and targets are often vulnerable people, and so again, let's teach our daughters to be strong.
And I think that a really interesting part of the death of Hannah and her children was that the domestic violence aspect of it was not picked up until it was black and blue domestic violence, as in she had been physically beaten, whereas she had actually experienced domestic violence for a long time. So I think it's also really important.
Oh, it was fascinating. This woman was saying to us, Tanya, I think it is, some of the things that she was talking about that actually that qualify as domestic violence. Like she was saying, men that would leave the lights on and not allow their children to sleep. I'm like, what? Like things that I had never even thought of, which is, bullying at its. But you look at that and you just, I don't know, how unfortunate are we that that's not what we're experiencing. But some of the things she was talking about, I've never even heard of someone doing that before. So, more conversation. Some women wouldn't probably think that was, they just thought that their husband was a bit crazy. But it definitely leads to, can lead to other things. And I also read an article about how the bushfires, how they expected an increase in domestic violence on the back of that, because heightened stress obviously has a knock-on effect. And so, gosh.
Us getting family lawyer in the room around Christmas time, no one wants to answer the phone calls. Yeah.